Stop scrolling. I need you to read every single word of what I'm about to say, because what's happening right now, in this exact moment, is not an accident. You didn't find this. This found you. Think about how many videos you passed today, how many posts you skipped, how many things you almost stopped on but didn't. And then there was this. Something made you stop here. Something in your chest said, wait, that something is real, and I'm going to tell you why. I want to ask you something honest. When was the last time you truly felt seen? Not liked, not complimented, not told you're doing great by someone who wasn't really paying attention. I mean actually seen. The version of you that wakes up at 3 a.m. with thoughts too heavy to explain. The version of you that smiles in every room but carries something in private that nobody fully understands. The version of you that has prayed, maybe with tears, maybe with silence, maybe with just a whisper. If anyone is listening, please, I need something to change. That version of you. When was the last time someone spoke directly to that person? Today, I'm speaking to that person. Here's what I know about you. And I know this because if you're still watching, it's true. You have been strong for a very long time, longer than people realize, longer than you even give yourself credit for. You have held things together that should have fallen apart. You have shown up for others in seasons when no one was showing up for you. You have kept going, even on days when everything inside you was screaming to stop. And somewhere along the way, you started to wonder, is this just life? Is this just how it goes? Do I keep waiting forever? You've watched people around you receive blessings, breakthroughs, open doors, and you've celebrated them because you're that kind of person. But quietly, privately, in a place you don't say out loud, you wondered, when is it my turn? I need to answer that question today. Let's talk about delays, because I think this is where most people lose hope. When something doesn't happen on our timeline, we have a very human tendency to interpret that as rejection. The door didn't open, so I must not deserve it. The prayer wasn't answered the way I expected, so maybe I'm not heard. The relationship didn't work, the job didn't come through, the healing didn't arrive. So maybe something is fundamentally wrong with me. And we carry that conclusion quietly. We don't say it out loud, but it shapes everything, how we move, how we ask, how much we allow ourselves to hope. I want to dismantle that conclusion right now, because here is a truth that is going to shift something in you if you let it in. Delay is not the same as denial. These are two completely different things. Denial is a closed door with a locked bolt that will never move. Delay is a door being prepared, the hinges being fixed, the path behind it being cleared, the right moment being chosen, so that when it opens completely. And there is a very important reason why certain things in your life were held back. Not because you weren't worthy, but because you weren't yet in a position where the blessing would have been a blessing. Think about it this way. If someone hands $1 million to a person who hasn't yet developed the wisdom, the discipline, the discernment to manage it, it doesn't become a gift. It becomes a disaster. God doesn't delay to frustrate you. God delays to protect you from receiving something before you're equipped to steward it. And here's the part nobody talks about. During the waiting, you were being equipped. Every difficult season you walked through, you were growing. Every relationship that fell apart, you were learning what you actually need. Every door that closed, you were being redirected towards something that actually fits your real destiny, not the limited version you could see from where you were standing. You were being shaped, and shaping takes time. Now I want to talk about the battles, the invisible ones, because some of you have felt things you couldn't fully explain. A heaviness that descended without warning. A wave of sadness on a day that should have been fine. A sudden spiral of fear or doubt or confusion that felt almost external, like something was pushing against you. You blamed yourself. You thought you were broken. You thought something was wrong with your mind, your faith, your emotional strength. I want to say something clearly. You were not losing your mind. You were in a fight. There are forces, spiritual, psychological, call it what resonates with you, that activate specifically when a person is on the edge of breakthrough. The pressure intensifies right before the release. The resistance peaks right before the door opens. The attack gets loudest right before the victory. And if you've been feeling that kind of pressure, that unusual weight, that inexplicable resistance in areas of your life, I want you to hear this, not as alarm, but as evidence. Evidence that something worth fighting over is in you. You don't attack an empty field. You don't work to destroy something that has no value. The intensity of what you've faced is in direct proportion to the magnitude of what you carry. You are being opposed because you are significant, and you are still here, which means you are winning. Let me speak to the ones who have cried in private, not the public tears, not the ones people saw. I mean the ones in the car before you walked into the building and had to be okay. The ones in the shower so nobody could hear. The ones at 2 a.m. with your face pressed into a pillow because the weight of everything suddenly became too much and you had no one to call. The ones that weren't even tears anymore, just exhaustion, just lying there, just enduring. I see those moments, and I want you to know they were not wasted. Every single one of those moments did something in you. They broke things that needed to break. Pride, self-sufficiency, the illusion that you could carry everything alone. They opened space for depth, for compassion, for wisdom that only comes through walking through fire and surviving. They proved something to you, about you, that comfortable seasons never could. You found out what you're made of in those dark rooms. And what you're made of is extraordinary. Here's what's true right now, today, this moment. Something is shifting. I don't mean that in a vague, feel-good way. I mean there are things in motion in your life that you cannot yet see but are absolutely real. Conversations that are about to happen. Opportunities that are being positioned. People who are about to enter your life who will change the trajectory of everything. Doors that have been locked are receiving the key. The season that felt like it would never end, it is ending. And what comes after it is going to redefine everything you thought you knew about your own story. You are not at the end of something. You are at the beginning. And the beginning is always disorienting, always uncertain, always a little uncomfortable. Because beginnings require you to release the version of yourself that survived the last season and step into the version of yourself that was built for the next one. That's where you are. On the threshold, I want to leave you with this. You have spent a long time wondering if you matter, if your prayers echo or land, if the universe, if God, is actually attentive to the specific, particular, individual details of your one life. The answer is yes, not in a generic, applies to everyone way, in a specific, intentional, you were known before you were formed way. Every detail of your path has been attended to. Every seemingly random twist has been part of a route being navigated on your behalf. Every closed door was a protection. Every delay was a preparation. Every loss was making room. And every single morning that you woke up and chose to keep going, even when you didn't want to, even when the hope was thin, even when you couldn't see what you were moving toward, that was faith. Real faith. Not the kind that feels good, the kind that holds on in the dark. And that kind of faith does not return empty. So here's what I'm asking you to do. Not tomorrow. Right now. Take a breath. Feel the weight you've been carrying, and then make a decision. Not based on what you can see, not based on your track record of hurt, not based on how long you've been waiting. Make a decision based on this. I did not come this far to stop now. What is prepared for me is greater than what I've lost. The breakthrough I've been believing for is already in motion, and I am ready. Say it out loud if you have to. Whisper it if that's all you have, but mean it. Because something in the atmosphere shifts when a person decides, genuinely decides to believe again. And I believe yours is shifting right now. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are not too damaged, too late, too far gone, or too ordinary for something extraordinary. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. And what's coming next is going to make everything you walked through make sense. Hold on. Stay close. Your moment is here.